Hello, welcome once again. I'm Eric the Goblin, and today we are going to prep a hex crawl. And I figured that I've been doing a lot of streaming, playing video games, and I haven't really been doing any of this roleplay stuff that I really enjoy. So I thought, I can't sleep, might as well do it now. I'm just going to adjust this camera a little bit. Hopefully that gives a better view. So we're starting with one hex, and we're going to be using these books. We're going to be using Sandbox Generator. We're going to be using Filling in the Blanks, in case we need more detail. And we'll be using Tome of Adventure Design if we really need to stretch that brain a little bit. But for right now, let's start with our starting hex, the center of the hex flower, which is A1. And that is going to be this little town here of Eldermore Village. So let's get this book out. We'll go to the location, the settlement generator. I think it's right here. Here we go. Now, we already have a name, so we don't need to mess with any of that. And we know it's not a hamlet, it's a little bigger. So it's a village. Let's keep this open. And we're going to start rolling on this. So the first thing we need to know is the size. A roll of 6 means this is a big village. So let's write down that, because that seems relevant to what we're doing. That's the very first step to what we need to do. So, size, big. And we'll put quotation, parentheses, 6, since that's the value given in the sandbox generator. Oh, no, it's 3, sorry. 3. Let's do that. Size, big, 3. Okay, what else about this little town? To have an approximation of the village population multiplies the size by 50. So we got about 150 people. Population. Approximately. $150 people. Let's look at the population now, the occupation. Roll 1d6 to see if the villagers have an additional occupation. If the result is a 1, roll 1d6 to determine what it is and the type of associated building. So let's do this real fast. We'll just roll these two. If this was a 1, then we're going to check what this one is. Otherwise, the small one has no purpose. No. So the primary occupation of this place is just farms and cattle breeding. The layout's not too important because we're not going to make a visual image of this map. Points of interest. We have a blacksmith, a market, and a tavern, and a well. So let's write down points of interest. And these are the ones that every village has at least one of. So, blacksmith, market, tavern, and the well. Now we roll a 1d20 as many times as the village size to determine the special locations of the village. So we can do that real fast. 1, 2, and 3. So let's roll this. And we got 2 of the same number. I'm going to say that sucks. We're going to roll again. There we go. So we have an 18, an 8, and a 17. Let's start with the lowest number. An 8 is a famous person's house. Okay. Who is this famous person? We'll have to figure that out later. 17. There's a monument or a memorial. Let's roll a d6. On an odd, it's a memorial. Odd, it's a memorial. And 18 is an orchard. Orchard. Now, I'm going to hold on that for a second. We're going to put this over here. What kind of orchard are we dealing with here? Let's take a look. Doo-doo-doo. We're using the filling in the blanks, and we're going to figure that out right now. What kind of orchard are we dealing with? Resources. Let's go there. Page 35. Because you know what? An orchard would be fine on its own. 11:15, let's see. Up. Agricultural, cultivated, here we go. Fruit. All right, let's roll a D100 here. $50. This is a nectarine. A nectarine orchard. Sure. Orchard of nectarines. Because you know your nosy ass players are going to ask what kind of orchard it is. It's important to give them that detail. So, let's continue. Defense. Roll a D8 as many times as the village size to determine what defensive features the village has. Reroll any duplicates. So we're going to roll 3 D8s. We'll do this. And the first are watchtowers. So let's do this. Defense. Watchtowers. Let's roll it again. We're ignoring if the second watchtowers pops up. 2 is wooden palisade. And the last 4, the motte. I think that's just like hills that make it difficult for the enemy to gain ground. I think. So our village has mottes. Okay, how many guards do we have? A D3 plus 3. We'll roll the D6. I don't know if you guys can see this over here. When I'm streaming, it doesn't really give me too much of a idea of what's being covered on my screen. So we're going to roll this, and it's a D3. So that is a 1. That means it's a 1 plus 3, 4. 4 times 3, so there's 12. 12 guards. We multiply by the size of the village. Okay, so let's get the disposition now. Disposition. This says to roll 2d6 to determine the initial disposition of the villagers towards the PCs. So that looks like a 9. They're welcoming. I guess we should write welcoming villagers. And then we have to find out if the ruler has the same disposition. Same as the villagers. Okay, welcoming villagers and ruler. Okay. So now, notable NPCs. Okay. We know that one of them is a famous person. So let's grab this. We're going to roll that for the person's house, 14. A sick child? What the hell? Okay. So the first notable NPC is a sick child. Why does that work? How does that work? We're going to figure it out. The second notable PC, 12, is a retired mercenary. And the last, 16, is a talented craftsman. I'm already sensing a little shenanigans in me. I'm gonna roll this, and on a 1 or a 2, all of these notable NPCs are related to each other. Yeah. They're a family. Okay. Let's figure out who the ruler is. So we're going to roll a d8 for that. On this table right here. What is this? A 5? A merchant is the ruler of this village. We're going to put that here. Merchant. Alright. Now, does this place have a secret? We roll a d6, and on a 1, it's got a secret, and then we roll a d12. So let's get this and this. No secret. Okay. So on a 1, there's an event that's happening. No event. So there we go. There is our starting town of Eldermoor, which is the heart of our hex here. This is the heart of our map. So what I want to know is, what is it about this family that's so famous? Well, we could take a look at what we have here. We know that this sick child, a retired mercenary, and talented craftsman are all a family. So I want to say that it has something to do with the sick child. The sick child is something to do with the retired mercenary. Maybe the child became sick and that's why the mercenary retired? Which I'm going to say that means that that retired mercenary is the father. Let's change craftsman to craftswoman. Now, what craft is she doing? Well, let's go over here. I know we have some ideas that the book presents us. We could go through here. Let's try that. We'll roll a d6. What do we got? We got a 1. A 1 is viticulture or brewery. Maybe our talented craftswoman makes nectarine wine. We're going to write down craftswoman, winemaker. They might be the only place that makes, or the only people who do make nectarine wine. So now the retired mercenary doesn't have to go out and fight. They make enough money off this nectarine wine to take care of their kid. Boom, done. Cool. So that is our starting hex right there. Now, we're doing this just as prep. We're not going to have adventurers go through this yet. We're just doing this so that we can play this later. So I think for this session, I'm going to generate the 6 hexes around the starting area. And maybe next time when I stream, I'll create some characters and we'll send them out into the world. Let's see. Sandbox. So we know this is grasslands right here. So let's create the other hexes now. We know we're going to need all 6 of them. One. 2. 3. 4. 5. 6. So let's do that. And we're going to create hexes around. So let's do that. And we're going to use a D10. Can I just put this like right here? Yes, I certainly can. So we're going to roll a D10, an 8, and an 8, according to the next hex, are hills. So let's get another marker out. Get this guy out. And I think if we're looking at the layout, this is number 2. So this little square right here will be for our terrain. Let's do all of them. Let's do all of them. 4, that means that it's grasslands. So let's do that. Let's do like that. 6. This is more grasslands. Let's roll it again. 10. Mountains. Let's get out this guy. Mountains to the south. Let's keep going. 1. That's more grasslands. And the last one. 5. That would be more grasslands, but I decided I don't want more grasslands. I'm the DM, and I'm going to choose forest. Because you know what? I get to do that. I get to do that once in a while. So, let's label these. Let's do that. We'll get out this. So this is A2. This will be important, this convention, later. A3. A4. A5. A6. And finally A7. Okay. So now let's start with 2 here. We're going to generate what kinds of things are in these hexes. So for this first one, A2, 5. There's a lair there. What kind of symbol can we use for a lair? Well, the book wants me to use this weird thing. But I didn't use this for the Hamlet. So let's pull out this book. This book has some great imagery here. I don't think there's a single image for a dungeon. Oh. Capital, city, town, village, hamlet, palace, castle, tower, keep, hold, fort, camp, mine, mountain, stronghold, tree fortress, shire, a floating cloud city even, but there's no temple. We're gonna have to use this block here. We'll use these ruins. Use that symbol, which is thus the black square. And there's a layer there, so let's make note of that. So we're gonna need to put another page over here, I think. So let's do that. Or maybe I don't have to do that. Maybe I'll just write it down over here. Let's do that. A2 layer. Well, what kind of layer? What kind of layer are we working with? Why don't we pull this out? Let's see. Where do we find the things with layers? Oh, okay. We need to find out what kind of creatures are in our layer, right? So I could roll up in the sandbox generator, but since I want this to be used in an old school way, I'm going to pull out old school essentials and we're going to look at the wilderness table here. And we'll roll an encounter. Wilderness. So we'll take a D8 and a D20. Let's do that. So a 3 and a 19. So we are in grasslands, right? No, this is hills. We should write that down. A2. There's a layer. There's also hills. We'll put it in brown so we know. And put a symbol there too. Let's who are our brave heroes? We don't have any heroes tonight. I'm just
I'm not quite sure how to help you with that.
Alexa, you naughty girl. We don't have any heroes tonight. I'm just prepping. I'm just creating some prep so that I can play this later. Good evening, miss. I didn't think I'd see you on. We're making a layer at the moment. So we rolled up a 3 in the hills. There's a dragon here. So we're going to roll on 1, dragon, 19. There's a flame lizard here. Okay, there's the layer. And we're going to write down here. Flame lizard. Yeah, pretty spooky. Let's go look at what the flame lizard looks like. Lizard. Flame lizard. A 30-foot long mottled gray and red lizard, which are sometimes mistaken for dragons. Lair underground and emerge periodically to hunt. Covet shiny objects. Number appearing, 1d4. So let's get a 4-sided die. This is how many are in that layer. 3. Let's write that down. 3 flame. Oh no, we could just put a parentheses there. We could just do like that. Number 3. Okay. So what else about them? Treasure type. They have B and L. Okay, so we should probably generate that so we know what's in there. Let's go over to the treasure. We got a B. So the way this works is we're going to take the percentage dice and we're going to check down each of these to see if it's present. There's a 50% chance that we're going to get copper pieces. Let's roll that. 48. There's copper pieces. So we'll roll a D8. It's 2,000 copper pieces. We'll just write 2K CP for now. Let's check the next one. There's a 25% chance that there is silver pieces. So we roll 25 or lower, there's silver. That's a 9. Okay. So we're rolling a D6. There is 6,000 silver pieces. 6K silver pieces. These lizards have been very busy, huh? Every, I think, 10 silver is a gold coin, I think. Let's go check. Silver pieces, yeah. So if we divide 6K by 10, 6,000 by 10, that's around 600 gold. Okay. And we know that 10 copper pieces is a gold. Is a silver, and 100 copper pieces would be a gold. So if we divide 2,000 by 100, this is about maybe 100 gold pieces. I'll have to check the math later. So far we know there's a ton of coins in here. Let's check it again. We're rolling 25 or under. There's electrum pieces. There's no electrum. 25 or under, and there's gold pieces. There's no gold pieces. Now we check for gems. 25 or under, gems. No gems. 25 or under, there's jewelry. No jewelry. And there's a 10% chance of a magic sword. Oh shit. 6. So there is something magic here. It's 1 magic sword, suit of armor, or weapon. So I'm going to take that to mean there can be 1 of any of those things. We're going to roll this. On a 1 or a 2, it's a magic sword. On a 3 or a 4, it's a suit of armor. And on a 5 or 6, it's a weapon of some kind. 3, suit of armor. Okay. So let's go make magic armor. Magic items. Here we go. So let's grab our percentage dice. And it's 32. So 32 means this is armor plus 2. So let's roll this. 8. It's plate mail plus 2. Oh my god. That's really, really good. Plate mail plus 2. That's a crazy amount of stuff there. That's definitely worth investigating at some point in the future. Okay. Let's take a look at what we need to do next. We did the layer already, I think, right? We could design the layer. We could do that. Here we go. So we could do more than that, actually. Let's see how many of the lizard folk are inside of the layer. So we're going to roll a d6, multiply the result by 10. This is 40%. 40% of 3 are outside doing things. I don't know how much 40% of 3 is. I'm going to just decide that that's one of their kind. One flame lizard. And then we're going to roll a d8 to determine where it actually is. 8. If an 8 is rolled, the Voldemort force in 2. Alright, there's only one flame lizard at home. And there's one flame lizard at... No, can't be that. 3. If this is hex A2, then the next hex that it would be at would be A9. So let's do that. Let's write that down. One flame lizard at A9, and the other flame lizard, no, can't also be at A9. Let's see. 5. The other one is prowling about the town. Oh, okay. One lizard at A9. The other flame lizard is at A1, prowling about on outskirts of A1. That's spooky. Let's go back to our book here and let's take a look at these layers. No, not dungeons, not dungeons. I wanted the layer maker. We're going to roll a 1d3 because this is a small group, and a 5 turns out to be a 3, so we're at layout 2. Okay, so that means that our flame lizard cavern, our lair of flame lizards, looks like this. There are 2 rooms. And the first room, which is the entrance to the lair, there is probably coins and stuff and remains of bodies and food and, you know, all kinds of stuff like that. And then room 2, that's where the flame lizard is, and that's where the big treasure is. So that is A2 of our map. So now we move on to A3. Let's pull this out. We already know. We're going to take a D6. There's a dungeon over here in A3. That seems scary to be so close to the main town, but we're going to do it. Let's go over here, flip the page. We're doing A3 now. I think it's this column right here, yeah. A3. And we just need to write dungeon. We'll do it in red since the dungeon itself is red on the map. And we'll draw the icon of it as well. Now, generating a dungeon is going to take quite a while. And I don't know if I have the wherewithal for that, but we can at least give it some names. So, let's see. Let's roll a d20. And that turns out to be an 11. let's go over here. An 11 means this is haunted. Let's see. And then we roll again. 1. Haunted burrows? Sure. Haunted burrows. We'll put it in quotations here. Later on, it'll be important for us to figure out why it's called that, but for now, that's fine. Now, an optional thing we can do is roll a theme. Let's do that. That doesn't count. 14. You know what? The result of 14 here means that it's crystalline. Crystals are growing everywhere. Some walls are transparent and there's a lot of echo. I'm just going to go with the haunted thing right here. Sound of chains can be heard. Torches often go out because of icy wind. We're just going to go, that's our theme. It's haunted. There are ghosts in there. Okay? So we got to figure out how many rooms are in a dungeon. I'm just going to decide it's a 1-level dungeon. It doesn't have multiple levels. That sounds like too much work. So we'll grab 2d6s, 2d20s. And this is a 6. This is a 7. Let me see. I guess like that is a little better, huh? 6 and 7. Oh, I see. I do like that. 6 and 7. That's 13. Total of 13 rooms. Write that down here. 13 rooms. So let's go over to the next one. How many factions are in this dungeon? Let's roll. There are 2 factions in this dungeon. So let's get a d12 for the first faction. 3. We'll say that the faction, this is a level 1 dungeon, so 3 is giant centipedes. So we already know that 1 of our creatures are giant centipedes. So giant centipedes. And we'll do it again. 12. A 12 is a level 3 thing. And now we need to roll a 10. Bugbears. Okay. So we need to make a wandering monster table. So there is 2 factions. There's a D3 and 6 chance of each. So let's roll this for giant centipedes. D3, 1 and 6. So we're gonna put that here. 1. And then we're going to do the same thing, D3 and 6 for the bugbears. 2. So now we need to figure out the encounters for the other spots, 4 spots. And we can do that by either picking out creatures or rolling for them. And I think that I'm going to roll for it. So we already decided this is a level 1 dungeon. Let's go to the dungeon encounter thing here. Let's get out a D4 and a D10. Something like that. So 1 and a 3. A 1 and a 3 is oil beetles. Oil beetles. We can put down 1d3. 1d3. Let's do it again for the other 3 spots. A 2 and a 2 is gnomes. Okay, these are not a major player though. They're not a faction in the dungeon. They're just here. Maybe they're trying to get out. Or maybe they're slaves or something. But whatever it is, they're not a major player here in this dungeon here. Let's roll it again. And that's a 3 and a 9. And we got giant shrews. We have 1d10 giant shrews in this encounter. And then the last one, since it was a level 3, we have one level 3 thing on here. We have the giant centipedes. I think I'm going to make the last monster at level 2 encounter. So we got 2, well, it's a 4 and a 5. Troglodytes. Okay. And there's 1d8 of them. Okay, so we have the encounter table for our dungeon here. We know what inhabitants are there. There are giant centipedes, and those are bugbears, and these are the predominant ones right here. That means there's a lot of these guys. There's oil beetles as well, giant shrews. Probably the giant shrews eat the oil beetles. And there's also gnomes and troglodytes. Now, I'm guessing these bugbears have enslaved the gnomes and the troglodytes. So when we're running around here, we see that these guys have overtaken or maybe made slaves of them. And we can see that there's going to be like chains or manacles, signs of enslavement, these bugbears. I think that's the easiest way to handle that. So why do they call it haunted? There's got to be something about it that's scary or spooky. Well, I don't think we're going to find an answer in the sandbox generator. I don't think we're going to find an answer in the filling in the blanks thing. So let's pull out the Tome of Adventure Design. And let's take a look through our pages here. Because maybe something will jump out at us. Dungeon Design 126. Let's go over here. $126. Okay. So we need something that tells us about why it's haunted. A backstory might be good. Okay. So we can roll up something here and then just view it through the lens of hauntedness. So we've got a 94. A 94 is leaders were slain or imprisoned. A 36 on why it became dangerous. That was the first factor. Leaders were slain or imprisoned. And then a 36 is in connection with a disease. And how long ago? 85. 1 month ago. Okay, let's work with that. So, leaders of a faction started getting killed off by some mysterious disease in the haunted burrows. Maybe the bugbears don't understand that it's a disease and not ghosts that are killing off their leaders. I think that works. So we'll say strange disease kills leaders of bugbears. Bugbears believe the cause is ghosts, not disease. Oh, so maybe the bugbears are bringing these gnomes and troglodytes into these burrows and sacrificing them. If they think it's ghosts, maybe they're trying to do that to alleviate the curse, alleviate the ghosts. So these bugbears, this is just how my mind works. These bugbears are capturing gnomes and troglodytes from the area and sacrificing them. Maybe these giant centipedes are the ones bringing the disease, and they don't understand that. We'll work on that later, but for now, that's a good starting point for our dungeon there. And we can work on that later. So after that, A4, we develop the next hex, now that we have a good idea of what's in that one. So we grab a D6, and that is a 6. There's another dungeon there, and I'm just going to veto that. Fuck you. It seems like there really wants to be another dungeon. I'm just going to pick a landmark there. Can't force me to make a dungeon if I don't want to, but that's not how this works. So we're going to grab a couple of D6s here, and we're going to start making a point of trying to remember this stuff. So we're creating a landmark at A4. Let's put a black flag. We'll put a flag there as a symbol of a landmark. That means there's something here of interest, but it's not like a settlement or a dungeon or something. It's just something interesting. So our landmark is natural. Our landmark has monsters. Let's figure out what's in our natural landmark. We roll a 6 and a 10. 6 and 8. 6 and 8. There's stream here. Okay. We can work with that. Let's put a stream here. We're going to roll for which direction it's coming from. One being the top, and we follow clockwise. So our stream is coming from the northeast. And where's it headed towards? 3. 1, 2, 3. So like this. All right. So we know that there's a stream here, and we didn't roll for whether there's treasures or not, so let's do that. A monster square always has a, we got treasure. So right, let's pick out monsters and we'll put treasure there. So we're by water and grasslands. Let's get a water encounter here. Let's see. Lake River. We'll do that. So a D8 and a D20. 2 and 1. So Lake and River, 2, another dragon, and 1, a chimera. No, that's way too close to town. I don't like it. 5 and 16. Okay, so Lake, 5, humanoids. So you go to table L. Humanoids, and then we got a 16. Ogres. Oh, fucking hell. Let's go to the entry for ogres. LMNO, okay. Ochre jelly. Orcs, ogres. Number appearing, 1d6. So let's do that. 1 ogre? Come on, bro. Okay. A4. Let's get this. Oh, I'm already off. A4. We'll get the blue pen. Stream. And we know that it's going from northeast and bends to southwest. And then we're going to put in red here 1 ogre. What is this ogre doing at this stream? That's what I want to know. Ogres have treasure of C, so let's give it a treasure. Treasure C, here we go. So let's get our D100. We got 78. No copper coins, because it's only 20%. So now I got 30% on silver pieces. Silver pieces, let's go. We're gonna roll that. We got 4,000 silver pieces on this ogre. Oh. 4K silver. I suppose I should just make this in pen here. The treasures. It's not like I'm going to erase them. Okay. Let's get back to checking for treasures that this ogre might have. So he's got 4K silver. 61. He's got no electrum. He's got gems. So we're going to roll that. He's got 1 gem. %chance of jewelry. That doesn't count. We're going to just do this. No jewelry. And 10% for 2 magic items. No magic items. So let's figure out how much that gem is worth. We already know he's got to have at least 1,000 GP. Average. So we divide by 4K by 10. That's around 400 GP. So this gem has to be worth a lot. 400. I'm just going to decide that this gem is worth 1,000. Gem is worth 1K GP. So if I'm to look at this, this is about 1K, 1,400 gold pieces. He's got enough there. What is this guy doing? Um, you got a broken down raft. One ogre. Broken raft. Holding treasure. So we got this ogre here in this stream with all this treasure on a broken raft, and he doesn't know what to do with himself. Cool. So now let's generate A5. So I know we'll need a D6. Let's open up the table here. We'll go over here. A 3 is another landmark. So let's do that. We'll put another flag here indicating this is a landmark. Let's go to the next page here. And here we go. Let's get all our D6s out. Maybe a D10. So, the blue one is for the first table and the yellow one's for the second table. So the first table, this is an artificial landmark. And there's something special here. So what is our artificial landmark? We're going to roll a D6 and a D10. We got a 3 and a 6. 3, religious. There's an idol. Okay, that's interesting. So we're going to write down, I think this is A5. Yeah, A5. A5. Let's draw a little symbol of an idol there. We're going to get out a red marker here, and we'll put like this. Sure. I'll do like one like that. Okay. That looks terrible. The more I try to make it look less like a penis, the more it looks like a penis. That's fine. And we'll write this down in red because that's what we made it. Idol. Now we gotta draw it. Something special here. Let's check this out. Landmark. And we're looking at special. Rolling special for landmark. Use the following table to have a general idea of what may be done here. It can be related or not to the landmark because landmarks tend to attract people and monsters. Okay. Let's get a D12. 6. Uncover a mystery. Okay, so we roll a D10. 1. Abductions? What does that mean? I don't know what that means. Abductions. We're going to write it down anyway, though. We'll make sense of it later. Mystery. Abductions. So maybe there's like clothes here. Maybe there's like signs that people were here and they just removed their clothes and they're gone. Or maybe food that started getting cooked and never got finished cooked. Whatever it was, there were people here, and then there were not people here suddenly, with no footprints or nothing. So something about this idol here in A5 makes people vanish in the mountains. Okay, let's go to A6 now. We're going to get that D6, and that is a 4, which is another settlement. No. Well, you know what? Let's see what kind of settlement. another village. Another village here. Sure. Let's do like this. So we know that there's a village here and there's another one there. Maybe they're part of the same one. Maybe they have trade with each other. Let's do that. Let's make this little path here. And then maybe from here, we'll roll a d6 and see where that path continues. 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, I'm starting to see something here. People go to that idol and they pray, and sometimes they don't come back. That's what this abduction thing's about, clearly. Let's go create a village now, since that's what was next. We need a name for a village. So let's get out our D30, our trusty D30. I'm just gonna roll like this, maybe like that. That's a very faded 3, but a 3 nonetheless. So let's look at the scheme for 3. BHF. So B, we need a D100 for the name of our village. 84. So the name of village is Summer. Let's start writing this down. A5. Let's do this. We'll do A6. Summer. We're just going to take exactly what we got. So BH, let's see, H, Summer, 76, Summer Point, and 10, BHF. Oh, there's only 20 there. Let's take out a 20. 9. Summer Point Ham. I'm going to roll it again. 16. Summer Point Village. That's fine. That's a fine name. Or I can just write Summer Pointville. Summer Pointville. There we go. Here's another village. Let's go back over here. We're going to roll 1d6 for the size of this village. It's small. This one's tiny. Oh, it's medium. No, never mind. Okay. How did we write the other one? It was all in pencil. Let's do that. So size, medium, 2. Okay. Let's go back over here. Occupation. We roll a d6, and if it's a 1, they have an additional occupation. Nope, they don't. It's got the same points of interest as before: blacksmith, market, tavern. I'm not even going to write that down. Try and save space here. We do know that it's got 2 points of interest, special locations. So the first is a bakery. That's funny. And the second is a guild house. All right, let's start checking out what kinds of defenses. So you roll a d8 twice, ignoring repeats. So we got wooden palisade. We'll put it over here. We'll see if we can fit all of this into this little tiny spot here. Palisade. And we'll roll it again. We ignore multiple results with the same one. 6. Chevaux de Frise. And we have these movable things called chevaux de frise. I think they're called wooden horses or whatever. But basically what they are these wood structures with barbed wire around them. So we'll call them movable fences, movable wire. The birth of barbed wire made these obsolete. Wire or iron horses. So those are our two things. So now we roll a d3 and we add 3 and we multiply by the village size. So this is a 2. Then we add 3, which is 5, and then we multiply by the village size. We get 10 cards. What's the disposition of the rulers? Let's get some dice. 6. Neutral. Neutral villagers. And we're going to roll a d6 to figure out whether he's welcoming or hostile. He's hostile. Neutral villagers, hostile ruler. Oh, it's a completely different place already. Okay. We know there's some notable NPCs, so let's roll 2 d20s. Here's 1. And now I need this guy. Let's do this. We got a 7, a frightened peasant. And this place also has a retired mercenary. I say I'm going to reroll that. And an old fool. We'll write down hag instead, since that's an option that we have. Hag. Let's see about the ruler. Bandits. Hostile ruler. I'm starting to see something here. Summer Pointville is taken over by bandits. Let's check to see if there is a secret that the town's keeping. On a 1, they're keeping a secret. No secret. On a 1, they have some event. No event. So there's Summer Pointville. They've got a population of approximately 100. Sizeum and population approximately 50. All right. So this area was taken over by bandits. And this area over here is where our players are coming from. This is our starting area. This is not a place that they really want to spend too much time in. Seems like the rulers there are hostile. And they probably send people off to that idol. Let's see, let's probably a path from both villages to the idol. And we're finally at A7, the very last hex that we're going to do tonight. So let's grab a d6. And a 6 is a dungeon. And I already decided I don't want a dungeon. I'll take a landmark though. Not creating another dungeon, so close. So we're going to need all our d6s. Dupe. And then a d10. So the clear ones for the first table. So we have a natural landmark, and it's empty. We're going to check to see if there's anything of any treasure here. No treasure. Okay. So let's roll on what kind of natural landmark it is. We're going to roll a d6 and a d10. 2, geological. 8, a mud pit. Sure. I feel like I've rolled mud pit before. At some point. I'm going to roll that again. A cave? I mean, that might be interesting, but there's a forest there. I think I'm going to roll again. A chasm. Let's rock with the chasm. In the forest there, we're going to put the landmark symbol. And we'll use this. And we'll put in here a chasm. And that is a 7. I'd rather just put a new page, but that seems so wasteful. So I'm just gonna, I'll do a new page. Let's do that. A7. We'll write down that there's a chasm here. And we'll draw the symbol of our chasm the best we can. It's kind of like this slit in the ground. So this is an empty hex, which means that there's really just a clue here of some kind. So let's write down what's there. There is info about nearby monsters. So, what are the nearby monsters? The lair. Okay, let's put that down. Info. By monsters. Now, I believe it gives us prompts about how we leave that info there. So let's do that. Yeah, the information could be conveyed a number of ways. So let's roll a d6. 2, depicted on an old fresco mosaic. Oh, okay. I'm going to say that in the chasm, a fresco depicting flame lizards. Okay. So at that point, we have the 7 hexes surrounding our starting area. Next time we get together, I am going to try and fill out these 13 rooms of this dungeon. I could try to do that now, at least get it started. Let's write down here. What hex was that found in? That's A3. Hex A3. Haunted Burrows Dungeon. And we'll put the symbol there. We'll continue to use these symbols so it's easier for us to remember in the future. And we're going to roll a 6-sided die. One's at the top. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Our entrance is over here. Let's roll a d6, and that is a 6. And our entrance is here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 6. We'll roll it again. 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Let's put, you know what? We got to figure out how it connects. So I know the Tome of Adventure Design is going to give us a lot more information about that. So let's see. Guys, I love making maps. I love dungeon designing. Transitions between dungeon areas. We're gonna roll D percentage. That is a 98. And to get in here, there's an architectural trick to get into the Haunted Burrows. See table 384 or 385. So let's go over here. Architectural trick. Architectural trick. Here we go. This is how we get into this dungeon now. A 9. There's an altar. 47. That flips over. Okay. So we'll put that this is room 1. And we're going to design what looks like a symbol for an altar. Let's take out the dungeon companion here and see if it has anything that might resemble an altar. Door, double door, remove door, stairs, open pit. Where's an altar, my love? Altar. Let's put that down. We'll take this and we'll put it right here. Those 2 dots right here. And we'll write down on the other side, right here, room 1. Entrance to dungeon, hidden by stone altar. All right, that's about as much as we've done today. Let's go back and take a look at what it is we've finished and accomplished. We have the starting hex, A1, where we have the village of Eldermoor Village. We've got all the assets that Eldermoor Village has, including this little curious family here, where they retired being a mercenary and rely on nectarine winemaking in order to take care of a sick kid. We have a flame lizard lair in the hills to the north, where they have coins and treasures and rumored to have magical armor. To the northeast, there is the Haunted Burrows dungeon, where it's said that bugbears keep prisoners and sacrifice them in hopes of appeasing a slow, silent, rotting killer. To the southeast, there's a stream where there's a single ogre guarding a broken raft with a ton of coins and treasure. To the south, A5, there's this idol where the people of the various towns go and sometimes don't come back. The people of who go don't ever talk about it. To the southwest, Summer Point Village, which has been taken over by bandits. The villagers are neutral, but the rulers are hostile. This is not a place where our players want to spend too much time. And lastly, A7, there's the forest there, where a chasm can be found depicting frescoes and art of flame lizards in the area. And we've got the very start of the Haunted Burrows dungeon. That's it for now. Thanks for showing up. When we come back to this, it's going to be to fill out and populate this dungeon. There will be 13 rooms in it. We decided that over here. And we know that we have one. So we only need 12 more, and this little dungeon will be complete. And then we can work on adding more detail around. And maybe once we have a complete flower, a hex flower of this area, we'll make some characters and we'll run through this area. But for now, that will be all. And I wish everyone, including you, Jess, especially you, Jess, a wonderful night. See you soon.